Hello and welcome back to my knitting journey. I'm Vanessa and this is a knitting podcast. Now, if you are a returning viewer, thank you very much for coming back. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy my content. Now, you may be able to tell from my background that I'm back in Berlin. I've been back for about a week and a half and it's quite stressful right now. It's close to the end of the semester, so I have a lot of projects to finish up and a lot of deadlines that are coming closer. But I still wanted to do this video just, to get my mind off of things and to show you what I've been working on, even though I'm a bit stressed right now. So as always, I will start with my finished projects, then I will show you what I'm working on right now and all of the new yarn and knitting related things I've acquired at the end. After that, I would like to talk to you about my knitting resolutions, if you want to call it that. So just what I'm planning for the coming future and goals I've set myself for the year of 2022. So yeah, let's get right into it. I don't have a lot of finished objects. Actually, I only have one. I showed this to you last time and I think then I just started the second sock. It's these. If you remember them, it's these just vanilla socks in a light pink going to a blue and back to pink. And yeah, this is how they turned out. They have a 2x2 rib, about a 15 centimeter long leg in total, a reinforced heel, and then I pick up the stitches and decrease along the foot, knit the foot, and then decrease for the toes and end it with a Kitchener stitch. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot to say about these. It's just socks. I haven't blocked them yet. I haven't worn them yet. I wanted to show them to you when they were all fresh and off of the needles. For the yarn, I think I showed this to you last time that I didn't like this harsh transition between the blue and the pink. And for this one, I think it's a little bit softer because I was already at the purple section when I started the heel, and so it's just from the purple to the pink instead of blue to pink, and I think it looks a little bit softer. Now, as I only have one finished project today, I thought I could show you the thing I'm wearing right now. This, let me get up 1 second. This is the first sweater I knit. And let me tell you, for experiences with your first sweater, I don't think there could be any more traumatic experience than I had with this one. It took me ages to knit. It's knit in 4 pieces and then seamed together. I had no idea how to purl. I've never purled before. I've only known how to knit flat. So I learned how to purl with this sweater. I learned how to do decreases with this sweater. And I didn't use a pattern. I just used the dimensions of a sweater I had and looked up a tutorial on how to knit a sweater. And yeah, I knitted it. It took me about 3 or 4 months to knit this. I was a really slow knitter at the time. And when I finished it, as you can see, it's quite a baggy sweater. When I finished it, it was almost skin tight. It was supposed to be a tight sweater. It was supposed to be form-fitting. And then I wanted to be all proper and do what all of the people tell you to do and block it. And on the tag of the yarn, I don't know, it's some kind of silk cotton blend, and on the tag it said it's machine washable, 30 degrees machine washable. I told my mom that I was gonna knit a block it, and she was like, why would you do that? She's never blocked anything in her life, and she's knitted a lot of sweaters. She didn't even know the concept of blocking. And I said, no, I'm gonna do it. Everybody does it, so I'm gonna do it. It says it's washable. So I took a bucket, I filled it with cold water and some yarn soap. I put the sweater in there, and like straight away it started stretching endlessly. I didn't pull on it or rub it or pick it up and let it hang. It just kind of exploded. And I was sitting there, and I was in Luxembourg at my parents' place at the time, and I called my mom. I was like, Mom, help me. I don't know what's happening. I almost cried because it took me so long to knit this, and then it was ruined. Yeah, I tried to, I don't know what happened. I'm guessing this yarn shouldn't have been soaked in water, even though the tag said it could. And since then I'm not a fan of blocking. Yeah, and I'm gonna show you. This was a cropped sweater. I'm gonna show you something now. Give me a second. Okay. Can you see this? This was a cropped sweater. It used to be like this. Then I blocked it, and now it's like this. It grew so much. I tried to get all of the growth, like, kind of distributed into broadness and length. But yeah, it was a very traumatic experience. I now wear this sweater only in my trousers because I don't like the way it looks when it's out of my... It was supposed to be a cropped sweater. Since then, I'm always very cautious when blocking things. I block my socks, but I have never ever since then blocked a garment. And yesterday I tried to block the rust-colored Knitting for Olive top. I showed you the last couple of times, and thankfully nothing bad happened. It stayed just the way it was supposed to stay, and I'm so relieved because yeah, I still don't think I'm gonna block my things if it isn't absolutely necessary to get the pattern right. Oh, there's just one thing with the Knitting for Olive yarn that maybe is interesting to know, so you don't put it in with other garments when you wash it for the first time, because the color did bleed a little, so don't wash it with bright garments. Now for work in progress, the first thing I wanted to show you is this sweater. It's the wrong way around. It's the Daily Visual Raglan by Park Knit. I knitted this before, the orange sweater I showed you in the last 2 episodes. I have already separated for the sleeves, and I'm now working on the body. I am knitting it a bit longer than the last one because I think the last one turned out a little bit too short, or not too short, just I wouldn't want another one the same length. And yeah, so I'm adding a few rows to the body, and I will also add a few rows to the arms because they are they are fine on the other one, but they could be longer. And I'm knitting this in the Woolly Knit British 100% British wool yarn. It came in a 200-gram hank, and I divided it into 2 balls, so 2 balls of each 100 grams. It's this soft pink color. I think the color is called Shell, and I'm combining it with this mohair. As you can see, I don't have a swift and winder, so I just hang the yarn on whatever thing I find right now, and then I wind it by hand. I think it's fine. It works the same. It just takes longer. And this yarn is the, can you see this? The Keatsgarn Mohair. It's a hand-dyed yarn, and it's called Pink Cobblestones. Yeah. I have this much left of the first ball. I bought 2 skeins of this, and I'm not doing the ribbing on the sweater right now, so I haven't done the neck yet, and I'll have to see if I do the ribbing on the body right away, because I'm a bit scared, as always. I'm a bit scared I won't have enough yarn. I'll have to see if this is enough to knit all of the body. I will do the ribbing straight away, because I know from the other sweater that in that case this will be enough for all of the rest, but I have a little bit less a mohair than for the other sweater. If I don't have enough, I will see if I don't want to buy another skein, because it would be way too much and they are quite expensive, and I would have most of it left in the end. So what I think I will do, if I don't have enough mohair, I just do the cuffs, the ribbing around the neck, so the neck, and the ribbing on the body with this one held double, because I know that for sure that I have enough of this. So it will just have this slightly contrasting ribbing, which I think will be fine as well, but I would prefer if all of it had the mohair. And yeah, I think this one will be finished next time I talk to you, because it's just knitting in around plain stockinette right now, and some decreases now and then, and I know from the other one that this knits up quite fast. Oh, one more thing about this. When I finished the raglans, I kind of wish I would have done like a small braid inside of the raglan, like these, what do you call them, the increased rows. I think with this color, how this color turned out, it's super pretty and soft, and I think it would fit the color and the sweater really well. But yeah, I know this for next time I'm doing something similar. I'm not gonna rip back just to add a braid into the raglan. I would have to restart the whole sweater, and taking mohair apart is just a nightmare. My nose is itching because of the mohair. Sorry. Next up is something you've seen before. It's this scarf, the On the Rail scarf by Espace Tricot. Yeah, I showed this to you before. The scarf is like very slim at the beginning, and then there are a lot of increases, so it gets wider the longer the scarf gets. And to knit this, I'm using this yarn, which is Filcolana Saga. It's lamb's wool in this very soft buttery yellow, almost white, held together with this, which is the Choppel lace flower. It's a yarn that changes color in very big intervals, so That's why I have this very slow gradient going on, and I'm almost at the orange part. For some reason, I'm super excited to get to the orange part. I don't know. It's like kind of the goal in my head. And with this scarf, I don't think I would continue knitting this. I think this would become like an indefinite, unfinished object if it weren't for the podcast, because it kind of holds me accountable to continue knitting on this, because I told people I'm knitting this. So in my head, these people expect me to finish it, and I don't want to like seem like I start something and don't finish it. Yeah, so you are holding me accountable to finish this. And I think the other thing making me a bit motivated to continue knitting on it is the color changing yarn. If I would have picked just a solid colored yarn for this, I don't think I would have even gotten this far. The color changing yarn, it's just fun to get to the next part, the next section, and you keep knitting because you're like, when is it finally gonna come? Because it's these huge intervals, so you have to knit a lot to get to the next section. And yeah, I hope I'm gonna finish this before it gets warmer out. I mean, it's January now, so I still have a lot of time until I don't need a scarf anymore. And I don't know if I told you this before, but I'm knitting this to go with a coat I have. It's a green plaid. Yeah, a green plaid coat with orange accents. So when I saw this yarn, I knew it's gonna be perfect to go along with this. I don't have the coat here. It's sadly in Luxembourg, so this will have to move with me to Luxembourg soon. Next up is another sweater. It's this pink sweater. It's my first attempt at doing any kind of lace, and it's inside out. 1 second. Yeah, it's a raglan sweater, so the construction is pretty easy, but it has this strip of lace in the front. Wait, I'm gonna try to show you this. Yeah, it's a top-down construction, and this is, I just finished, I can't show this, oh my god. I just finished the first repeat of the pattern in front, and I think it's gonna be 5 or 6 repeats depending on how long you want it. And it's the Shimo sweater by Leni Mohair. I'm gonna insert the name here because I don't know how to say her name, and I don't want to butcher it. Yeah, it's the Shimo sweater. I bought her whole Tuku wool collection, and I'm soon gonna show you some yarn that I'm using for another one of the Tuku wool collection sweaters. For this one, I am using this pink yarn. It's a combination of Mohair and Merino. I showed you the yarn last time. It's the one my siblings got me for Christmas. It's the Knitting for Olive Mohair in the color Plum Rose, and the knitting, no, not Mohair, Merino. Did I say Mohair? I mean Merino in the color Plum Rose, and Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair in the color Forest Berry. And combined together, it creates this deep pink, like looks like a vintage kind of pink. I don't know how to describe it. It looks just kind of vintagey, and I don't know if this yarn is actually softer than the other Knitting for Olive yarn combination I used. It should be the same yarn, but this feels softer. I don't know if it's like in my mind because the color is softer than the orange, but I don't know. It feels softer than the other one. And the stitch markers on this is a mess. I didn't have enough stitch markers left after putting all of my stitch markers on the other raglan sweater. So I don't even have any proper stitch markers. I just use old earrings and rings as stitch markers because they do the job as well. So like I have a whole array of different things hanging on this. And then I didn't have enough for the front section, so I just took some wire and some beads I had lying around and made my own stitch markers because I don't want to spend my money on things I can make myself and have laying around my house. Next work in progress is another sock. I'm not very far yet. I only have the cuff and just started with the collar for the leg. And I'm using this blue yarn my mother still had in her stash and she said I could take it. And this one that you've seen before, it's the same yarn I used for my pair of socks that I just showed you. And I'm not knitting this for myself. I'm knitting this for my aunt because she saw me on Christmas Day. She saw me knitting on my socks and she was amazed by the socks. She's the one who knitted the scarves for all of us. And she said that she doesn't know how to knit socks, but she loves knitted socks. And she loved the color my socks had. And so when I had this much left of the yarn, I thought, well, her birthday is coming up soon, so I'm gonna knit her a pair of socks. And this is what this is gonna be. It's just gonna be a pair of vanilla socks. And I hope she's gonna like it. I don't think there's more to say about this. Okay, so now for knitting related things and yarn I acquired since last time. I stacked all of the things up behind me on this suitcase, and the first thing I want to show you is this yarn. It's I bought this with the gift card that my boyfriend's sister and her boyfriend got me for Christmas, and it's Knitting for Olive. It was a Knitting for Olive gift card. It's the Merino in the color copper and the Mohair in the color copper. I got 5 balls of each of these to knit the other Wool collection sweater I told you about. First, about the yarn. I really like this color. It's how I expected it to be, but this color in the camera it now looks a little bit more yellow, but in person it is quite orange, and on their pictures it was a lot more yellow, and I expected it to be more yellow because I've knitted quite a few like rust colored things lately, orangey things, and I wanted something a little bit different. I still like the color. I think it's a pretty color. I just expected something else. I'm gonna keep it. I'm not gonna send it back because of that. I mean, they say that the colors can be a little bit different in person than they show up on screen. And I still think this is a gorgeous yarn, and I'm gonna use it anyway for the project that I plan on using it for. And I plan on using it for the Sarah sweater out of the Wool collection. It's also, I think, a raglan sweater, and it has 2 pockets in the ribbing on the bottom of the sweater. And yeah, I just think that's a cool kind of thing to have pockets on your sweater. And the sweater itself is, the pattern is really pretty. So yeah, that's what that's for. Next up is an order I did with Rito Design. Rito. I'm gonna add the website on here. I'm also gonna write everything I talk about in the description. So if you are asking yourself, what yarn was that, what pattern was that, where can I find it, I've put everything in the description down below. Yeah, these are the things I got from Rito. I've got okay, I know I said last time I'm not gonna buy any more yarn, but I bought all of these things to go with things I already had, just to complete what I need for a project. So this is a Kitsig Mohair by Drops. It's in the color light lavender, I think it was, or it says on here color 9. It's this really, yeah, light lavender color. I bought it to go with this hand-dyed yarn I had in my stash. I have 2 skeins of this, and it's garden flower yarn. It's a hand-dyed yarn. I'm gonna link her website down below. It's this very light buttery color with purple speckles in it, and it has some sections where it's a little bit more yellow. And I bought this to go with this, and I got this yarn to knit the Friday slipover by Petite Knit. It's a vest with like a little bit of a tighter collar. And the second thing I got from Rito is this also Drops Kitsig in the color Vanilla, or color 29 if you're interested. I bought this to go with this hand-dyed yarn by Garden Flower Yarns. It's this yellowy orange with multicolored like purple, green and pink specks in it. I think this is a super pretty yarn, and I wanted something that to add in with it that doesn't take away from the yarn but just complements the color. And this is gonna be the Stockholm Slipover V-neck by Petite Knit. I also got 1 skein of this to add in with the purple one, to do some contrasting ribbing edges on the slipover, because this also goes very well with the purple yarn. And the last thing I got from, whoops, that was my yarn. The last thing I got from Rito Hobby is this alpaca silk, brushed alpaca silk. It's in the color light beige, I think, or color 4. And yeah, I just wanted to try this. I didn't buy this to go with something specific. I just added it to the order because I was ordering anyway, and I wanted to see, like, try the difference between brushed alpaca and soft silk mohair. The only thing I didn't notice when ordering this is that the meterage on this one is a lot lower. I got 4 balls of this, but didn't realize that it only has 140 meters per ball. So if I do use this, depending on the project, I will have to get more. I think this would go perfectly with one of the woolly knit yarns I showed you last week. There was the Nazareth colored one, the brown one, and I think this would go really well with that color. I'll have to see what I do with it. For now, it's in my cabinet of yarn. Rito Hobby also added in this crochet hook set for free. I just got it for free, and that's really nice of them. I don't have any crochet hooks, and I think this will be amazing to pick up stitches when I drop some, because I always get into a panic when I drop my stitches. The last thing I bought is this yarn. It's the Brusca yarn by Rosa Pomar. I know a little bit of Portuguese because just in Luxembourg there live a lot of Portuguese people, so you pick it up a little bit over time, but I'm not sure if I'm saying this right. It's this variegated or like 2-ply yarn in 2 different colors. It's the uncolored yarn, so this is not dyed, this is the natural color of the sheep. And when you look at this, like the twist, the white yarn is just from white sheep, and the darker brown yarn is from brown and black sheep, which I find really interesting, that this is just like the uncolored color, undyed color, and I think it's really pretty. And I bought this to go with Park Knit's, once again, Park Knit, starter sweater, is it called that? Yeah, I think it's a starter sweater. And she did like a raffle when she dropped the sweater, where you could win a free pattern of it, and I won. I got one, and so I kind of feel obliged to knit it because I got the pattern for free and somebody else didn't get it because of that, so I have to knit it. And yeah, this yarn is to knit that sweater, and I got 6 balls of these. And I thought that maybe it would be interesting to just do like the edges of the sweater with this yarn, because I think this goes together pretty nicely. So just do like the cast on edge in this yarn and the cast off edges, and knit the rest of the sweater with this. So not hold them double, but just do the edges in this yarn. Then head double or triple to get the right gauge. I think that would maybe be interesting. Now for knitting plans and resolutions. I don't like calling it resolutions because like it's not a strict thing I want to do. It's just like goals and plans and things that would be nice to achieve in the year of 2022. So my direct plans, I just showed them to you. These are my, like, what I'm gonna make in the next couple of weeks and months. One thing that I told myself is that I am not gonna buy any more yarn until I've worked up all of these things. So I have to finish the 2 sweaters I'm working on right now. I have to finish the scarf. I have to finish the other Tuco wool sweater and the Brusca wool sweater, as well as the 2 vests. And then I'm allowed to buy more yarn. Only exception is I applied for a test knit. This is also on my goals list. I applied for a test knit and I would have to buy yarn for that. That's the only exception I give myself. If I get accepted for a test knit, I can buy the yarn for that. Because like I can't apply for a test knit and then not knit it because I don't have the yarn. That wouldn't be fair for the designer. Now for longer plans for the year of 2022, what I want to achieve by the end of the year is I want to knit one more lace pattern garment, so finish this one and knit another one, because I want to get better at it, just to like, yeah, train myself. Then I want to make 2 color work garments. I haven't done color work very often or barely any, and I want to learn that. So I want to make 2 color work garments. I want to make 1 cardigan, and preferably with steeking because I want to learn that technique. Yeah, 1 cardigan. Then I want to try slub or slubby yarn, like the yarn that isn't always the same weight, but it has these bubbles in it and these bumps and has this more crimpy texture. I really want to try that. And all of these things are combinable, of course. If I knit a color work cardigan, it's automatically for the 2 goals, because it's color work and it's cardigan. Or if I use the slub yarn for a cardigan, for example, yeah, these are combinable goals, but I want to achieve all of them by the end of the year. And one last thing is I want to knit a pair of shorts. I already have the yarn for it. I showed you the tank top last time with the teal and pink stripes, and I have some more of that yarn, and I want to knit some shorts with that to have like a matching set of top and pants. So yeah, that's all of my plans for the coming year. Maybe you can leave me a comment with what your knitting plans or resolutions or goals are for the year of 2022. I'm really interested in hearing other people like tell me about their goals and plans. I hope you enjoyed this episode. You can, if you want to see more of me, you can follow me on Instagram. My handle is this. It's also in the description down below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope to see you next time. And I may be planning on a giveaway soon, just as a hint for the people who watched till the end. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye!